Hey guys, um, if you can hear me, just say something in the chat because yeah, it's been way too long since I've done anything in terms of actual streaming. I don't know. I might just completely get rid of the stream. I might just delete this. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Seems like Alistair says he hears me. Ishmael says, wow. Okay, good. I'm gonna assume that that means you can hear me. So, great. Great stuff. um, awesome, 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 awesome. So, I just want to make sure you guys can hear me. It's been like months, bro. Months since I've actually streamed anything. So that's great. That's great. I haven't fiddled with these stream settings. I haven't done anything. There probably won't even be like chat on the screen because I haven't done anything with regards to stream. I have, however, gotten like a new boom arm for my mic and a new pop filter and all of that. So hopefully the audio is alright. But in terms of visuals, that's fine. If this stream turns out to be anything good, I'll clip it, edit it, add some visuals, make it an actual video. We'll see how it goes. Anyway, Fingolfin asks, wait, I didn't get drunk yet. Hey, Fingolfin, bro, you've been around since like early days, bro. I appreciate you, but I've had a couple of I've had a couple of cups, just drinking some red wine on my side. But yeah, for those of you who are unaware, I am a South African fellow, and currently there is. It's a euphemistic term we call load shedding, but basically rolling blackouts. Currently no power on my side, which means I'm currently streaming from my laptop screen. So there's very little I can see. I can see some of the chat. I can see that my mic is on, but in terms of actual stream analytics, there's very little I can see. So if you guys can actually just, say something in chat, that helps a lot. Azul the Greater, at least in terms of the chat I can see right now, sends love your videos, man, keep it up, etc. I am very appreciative of any new viewers who come in and watch my videos. So it seems that the stream is all good. Things are running as I'm hoping that they will. Unfortunately, like I said, due to current limitations and current power issues, not much I can do, but it seems like everything is running as they should. Alistair says, I had 2 blackouts today, but that's just because I'm in a third world country. You know what, Alistair? Same, bro. Same. We had a power outage this morning from 6 till 8, then again from 12 till 4 p.m, and now again from 10 till 12 p.m. So the power should come back up any minute now, hopefully. But I guess that is just the challenges we deal with living in a third world country, bro. It just is what it is. Anyway, earlier today I was thinking, should I was feeling the how do I say it, I don't want to say festive spirit, but I was feeling a kind of optimistic and happy spirit, thinking like, should I get some wine? Should I get something? And I myself, I'm not necessarily a wine connoisseur to say, but I am someone who, every now and then, if I'm gonna indulge, I do enjoy a particular drink, and I'm trying to relay this in a way that YouTube is amenable to, if I could put it that way. I'm trying to say this in a way that the algorithm won't utterly destroy me, if I can put it that way. But let's just say that I got some liquids that I can partake in. Now, I'm not necessarily utterly smashed, But I know in the poll I put earlier, it was roughly 50-50, leaning towards me doing a bit of a intoxicated stream, if I can put it that way. Fingolfin, I know, did comment on there saying that he'll be intoxicated himself. Now, maybe it's a bit early for Fingolfin. I know Fingolfin's been around since early days on the channel, bro. Really early days. Anyway, trying to get past that point. I have had about 3 cups or so. Anyway, so getting back to the matter at hand, I wanted to just, have a stream to just discuss things regarding Cosmere and Stormlight Archive. I've actually recently been rereading the Stormlight Archive because, well, I don't know. I feel like after reading the whole Cosmere on my own for about the last year or so, I haven't actually I have not. Shame on me, guys. Shame on me. I have not yet read The Lost Metal, nor have I read Tress of the Emerald Sea. But within the next month or so, I will definitely be getting there. Alistair, regarding your comment, I don't know if I can pop it up at all or not, dude. Hold on, let me just see if I can at the very least pop up chat. I think no, I can't really pop up chat. I'll need to see if I can somehow bring chat up on the actual video stream. But Alistair, you are saying, is YouTube censoring really that bad? Yes, dude. It's not necessarily even. It's not even like the content you discussed. It's certain keywords. If I mention drunk or alcohol, or I mention things like that's politically sensitive, like Ukraine or Russia, or transgender or things like that, things that are politically sensitive, it could generally bring down the stream. Now, me mentioning that will probably bring down the stream, but I don't care. If I need to clip things out and make them their own video, that's fine. The point is, I've been rereading Stormlight recently, right? And I have yet to read Tress, nor have I read The Lost Metal. That's fine. I'm actually going to get to The Lost Metal relatively soon because my readings actually progressed quite quickly. But at the moment, I've yet to reread those. However, I did want to make this kind of a Stormlight stream because I've noticed that through my reread, I've picked up on a lot of details. Now, I'm not sure if you guys have, via your own rereads or your initial reads through the Cosmere or through Stormlight, have picked up on certain details that through my first read, I actually didn't pick up on. Which is, to someone who... I don't want to toot my own horn, but I did, to an extent, pick up on a lot of, I want to say minor details, but rereading it again, I pick up on a lot more, like legitimately a lot more details than I initially thought. So what I wanted to talk about today was just, just discuss with you guys and just casually talk about some Cosmere details that I picked up on with my latest reread. I am currently on, I want to say chapter 12-ish of Rhythm of War, which basically means I'm nearing the end of my reread of the Cosmere, or reread of Stormlight at the very least. I will be doing a Mistborn Era 2 reread, and it will get its own stream. So I'll have a dedicated stream for The Lost Metal and Mistborn Era 2, and I will have a dedicated stream for Tress of the Emerald Sea. Today is just a Cosmere one, though if you do want to throw in your general Cosmere questions, you are welcome to, but I wanted to have a Stormlight one at the moment, and I was having a couple of cups of wine, so I was like, you know what, why not? Let's have an intoxicated / drunk stream. Why not? Let's just have some fun. I see there's 25 people in the stream at the moment. I really need to see if I can figure out, or if I can somehow edit the comments to pop up on the screen at the moment. I don't know how. Oh crap, did I just reset the the stream. I feel like I may have messed up here. Hold on, let me just take a look. Hopefully I did not do that. Okay. Hopefully, yes. Oh god, I think I reset shit. Guys, please don't laugh. I have had a couple of cups of wine. I have had orange wine. I can assure you, as a good, honest foreign man of upstanding principles, I have not indulged in the violet kinds of wine. I can assure you, I am a very devout foreign man, and I have not had violet wine. I have had strictly orange wine, which is, as you know, not intoxicating at all. So please ignore any issues on the comments. Hold on, let me just get back to the chat here, because I feel like I've missed a couple of comments. So Fingolfin says, I think that Brandon is unoriginal. He completely copied the concept of slavery from black. He completely copied the concept of slavery from black people. Fingolfin, I feel like, you know, you and I have had some interaction in terms of, like, you know, the old Discord forums, which I will at some point start up, and, you know, sometimes here and there in the comments and shit. But you know what, Fingolfin, I feel like you and I, we would probably get along. If I remember correctly, you are Israeli. I'm not sure. You can correct me in the comments, but you know what? Our senses of humor, it kind of gels. It kind of gels, not gonna lie. El Gordo Gringo says, how come the people in Elantris use the bathroom? That's a riddle. How come the people in Elantris use the bathroom? That's a riddle. Bro, are you for real? How come the people... I'm pretty sure that the Sheo does not exempt you from needing to relieve yourself, bro. I would like to believe that if you become an Elantrian, you become a godly being who never needs to relieve himself. But I'm pretty sure you still need to use the ablution blocks, shall we say. Shit, bro. Dude, my tongue is fumbling on itself if I'm trying to stream and drink at the same time. YouTube will probably bury the stream. It's fine. I'm probably gonna delete it and just clip like parts of it for videos at some point. It's fine. Whatevs. But yeah, I'm pretty sure Elantrians will be fine needing to use the toilet. Alistair says, I usually don't pick up on details and don't try to, so I'm happy to have the stream. I'm happy that you're happy, bro. This is my first stream since, like, I don't know. I think I tried a stream back in August last year when I relaunched the channel, but not much happened. Bro, I really want to find out, how do I get the damn chat up on the screen? Because I swear to the Almighty, if I'm a foreign man, that there was a way for me to do it, but I do not remember. Hold on. Guys, bear with me while I somehow figure this out. Let me just see here. Pop out chat. I'm pretty sure if I do this, I can somehow get the chat to appear on the screen. I would really like that, because, you know, for posterity, shall we say, that I will somehow get the future viewers of the stream, you know, the low-life plebs who view this after the fact, to be able to see this the chat on the screen itself. Let me just see if I can put this in. Okay, now if we somehow hold on, let me just see if this does this work. Hold on, I don't think is anything showing on the stream. Okay, this is me just testing here. I might be entirely wrong, but you know, Raven is just currently testing shit right now, and I'm currently moving around, so you might hear extra sounds. Please ignore that. And this is me being totally professional right here. This is the most professional stream in the world, and you guys are utterly happy to just view the professionality of the stream while I get my second monitor going. Let me just take a look here. Of course, things are flowing as they absolutely should. Please ignore everything. Awesome. Okay. Looks like I have chat visible. Awesome. Great. I'm going to pretend that I did that totally naturally and that nobody noticed any problems. Okay, cool. Let me just see. Did I miss out on anything? For Elantris, Ishmael Henriquez says, for Elantris, they use magic Aeon to relieve themselves just like Harry. Really? I swear I read Elantris at least in the last year. Dude, I don't know if you're trolling me. I've had wine. Okay, I'm going to say a substantial amount of course, being a good Voron man, I've had a substantial amount of orange wine that is non-intoxicating, of course, as Dalinar would approve, but I'm going to assume that that's not in the books. I'm not sure. They use magic aeons to relieve themselves, just like Harry Potter. I kind of want to say no. At the same time, I might be wrong. I am currently sipping on some wine, so I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt and say, sure, why not? At the same time, I've never read that before, so you get the preliminary and not so confident thumbs up on that statement. So here is to, hey guys, it's February, almost the end of February, but hey, it's my first stream, so here is to the year of 2023. Let me just have a sip. Okay, let's get back to the chat. Kaladin is Roshar's first budding psychiatrist and he stumbled into it. Hope that Brando doesn't delve into this. Bro, I'm not sure. Guys, I'm getting a pop-up here saying that YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain a smooth streaming. Just let me know if there's issues with the video or audio. I'm okay with there being issues with video. I can always, clip this out and put the audio with some other visuals. Let me know if there's problems with the audio, please. Please, if there's choppiness with the audio, let me know, just so that I can be aware. But from my side, it's giving me a pop-up. I'm hoping that it's just alright, but I don't know. I can just go with what YouTube is telling me here. Anyway, so back to discussion about what did El Gordo Gringo say that he's his first budding psychiatrist. Like I said, I'm currently rereading Stormlight, right? And I'm actually literally on the initial chapters of Rhythm of War, rereading it, right? So I'm on, I think I just finished. When I say initial, I mean initial, like as in the first 10 or so chapters. I'm speaking under correction, and I'd have to go back and look, but it's legit. I just finished the chapter where Dalinar tells Kaladin, look bro, you're kind of blowing it. You're kind of not, performing on the battlefield, so we kind of have to gradually let you go. And Kaladin's obviously, being Kaladin, not taking it easily. Point is, obviously, I remember back from reading it initially, him being the psychiatrist, I have no problem with Kaladin eventually becoming the, I don't want to say psychiatrist, but him doing the mental health aspect of Roshar eventually. The problem is, I don't know how much of a good story that makes for Stormlight. Eventually that becomes tiring, So I'm hoping that eventually Brandon realizes that, hey, this, either, my theory, if you've watched my video on it, Kaladin either dies, most likely, according to my predictions, or he probably becomes some mental health or fifth ideal Windrunner Radiant who doesn't have to be on the battlefield. I don't see how, just in terms of a practical writing aspect, how Brandon can justify Kaladin being a character we interact with regularly if it's not actually doing stuff with other characters. Now, if you've read Stormlight 5 and if you're in the stream, I hope you expect to be spoiled for Stormlight, because I'm not going to hold back. But if you've read Stormlight 5, you know that, near the end, Dalinar tells him, hey, Seth's going to Shinovar, so you need to go with him. So I expect there is going to be some Szeth/Dalinar well, not Dalinar, but Kaladin. I'm assuming Dalinar's going to be part of it, but mostly Szeth/Kaladin shenanigans going on. So maybe for now he has something to do, but latter half of Stormlight 5, I don't see him having much to do. Also, if you guys are just joining in, I'm a couple of my apologies. I'm a couple of cups of wine in to the stream. I am fairly intoxicated, so do pardon me if I stumble over my words. Let me get caught up on chat, because I feel like I'm a bit behind. Let me just see here. There's magic, blah blah blah. I want to make sure I'm not missing any chats. There's chat here. Yes, chat is. I'm just currently catching up on chat, because believe it or not, as I'm like just rambling, I'm drinking and closing my eyes and just talking what is on the top of my head. So maybe this is not the best for my YouTube career, but hey, I'm a small creator, so F it. I'll say what I want. Let's just see here. Are you using StreamYard? Oh, Fingolfin's asking if I'm using StreamYard. Actually, no. I have thought of looking into StreamYard, because apparently it's really good for streams and stuff. And I do intend on eventually doing regular streams. So I actually plan on using StreamYard. At the moment, I'm just using OBS, which is like the most basic program, but hey, it works. So for the moment, no StreamYard, Streamlabs, whatever it is. I'm just using OBS. Eventually I do plan on using more professional I would say softwares for streaming. For now, this is a casual stream, which I will most likely just delete from the channel, because, well, I suppose introducing new people to the channel with a first impression of the creator of the videos being Intoxicated is probably not a good idea. But I will turn this into clips if there's anything that is clippable, if there's anything I can turn into clips. More on that later. I do want to talk about what's coming out for the next week or so. Let me just see here. I don't want to miss anything on the chat, because I do, guys, you will not understand. Like, I can get 0 views on a video and I can get 10,000 views on a video. I don't care. What really strikes me, what really is important to me, is comments. Like, I know in every video I try to mention, leave a like, comment if you want, subscribe if you want, like, the standard YouTube stuff. But what really matters to me on every video is comments. So when there is a comment, I try to reply to it, especially in the newer videos. The older videos I don't bother as much, but with the newer videos I do care a lot about comments. So you guys, when you are leaving comments here on the live stream, it means a lot to me, and I do want to thank you for that. I thank you for being like part of the community, and I appreciate it. I know I'm a small creator. I'm basically a nobody when it comes to just talking about fantasy and stories and the Cosmere, etc. So I do appreciate it. So even if you guys never ever leave a like on one of my videos, if you at the very least just like say, hey, I like the video, or hey, you could do this different, or just comment something, that means a lot to me, especially the non-Cosmere videos. Now, I always enjoy the Cosmere, and whenever Brandon brings out a new Cosmere book, I will definitely want to read it. But obviously, channel will be more than just Cosmere. There will always be a Cosmere element, but there will be more things because I enjoy other stories as well. But I will always have a focus on the Cosmere and have a section on the channel dedicated to the Cosmere. Regardless though, if you guys, especially if you guys leave a comment on the videos that is related to, say, I don't know, a regular one was, say, just my thoughts on, actually, you know what, I can't remember because I plan things ahead of time. But the point is, I do enjoy, and like I said, guys, I'm kind of doing this Intoxicated, so do excuse me if I'm kind of a bit scatterbrained. But the point is, regardless of the kind of content that I bring out, I do want to bring you guys something to talk about. So, for example, one of my latest videos was Fight Club, right? Very low views compared to my normal Cosmere content, and I don't mind that. But you know, if you guys want to just discuss it or mention something in the comments, you are almost guaranteed to get an answer, just because I appreciate that the most. I wanted to start a discussion here. Anyway, I feel like I've neglected the chat, so let me just start here, reading the chat a bit. Like I said, guys, it's been a while since I've streamed. I'm currently drinking a bit of good orange wine, as a good Voron man should. Let me just get caught up with the chat and see how things go. Okay, so let me just see here. Make sure I'm not missing any chats. Chat doesn't exist in Rosha, just trolling, lol. I'm kind of reading through everything that's here. Are Triss spoilers allowed? Well, Ignacio Prieto Hergueta asked, are Triss spoilers allowed? I'm not a censorship heavy YouTuber, so you are welcome to say whatever you want in the comments and in the chat. However, I would respectfully ask you not to spoil any major plot points of Triss or the Lost Metal. Reason being, I, due to real life issues, have not yet been able to actually read the Lost Metal or Triss of the Emerald Sea. Currently, I am finishing up on the Words of Rhythm of War, the last Stormlight Archive novel. Then I will be doing a reread of the Lost Metal and moving on to the, well, reread of Mistborn Era 2. My bad, I said Lost Metal. I will be rereading Mistborn Era 2 and then moving on to the Lost Metal. So within the next month or so, give or take, I will actually be caught up on the latest Mistborn book, and right after I'm done with the Lost Metal, I will be reading Triss. The reason for my delay, I don't want to even say delay, but like the reason I'm behind on being caught up on the latest Cosmere books is, as some of you will know, as Van Golfen likely will know, is I've actually been behind on a lot lately. There was a very long time that I was not active on YouTube. I was kind of working through a lot of personal issues, personal relating to real life issues, you know, things that just hold you back, things that physically get in your way, and, you know, personal, really deep personal issues that prevent you from, even though you have the time, prevent you from actually doing things on YouTube. So all those kind of things I've been technically kept behind by. I haven't really been able to actually do YouTube-y things. I haven't really read books that I wanted to read. I haven't really been caught up on the Cosmere as I've wanted to be. So I hope you all will forgive me in the fact that I'm not 100% caught up with the Cosmere. However, in the next month or so, I want to say by, where are we now? End of Feb? So maybe end of March, April, I will be caught up. with the entirety of the Cosmere. So that would be the Lost Metal and Trace of the Emerald Sea. For now, if you want to spoil things in the comments, there's nothing I can do to stop you. I would prefer if you don't, but you know, I'm not the kind of guy who'd be like, no, you can't say this or you can't say that. So hey, if you spoil it, it is what it is. For me, world building spoilers is less of a priority than plot spoilers. So hey, if you want to say, oh, the Cosmere revealed this, this, and this, or there's this and this as a Cosmere aspect now, considering the latest novels, but it doesn't actually spoil the plot of the novels in terms of the characters, I'm a lot more okay with that. So if you want to discuss Cosmere level things that doesn't touch the plot when it comes to characters and their motivations, I'm a lot more open to discussing that, because I'm a very character heavy plot reader. So if there's world building stuff, while I would prefer you don't spoil it, I'm okay if you do, because I understand that I'm currently the one that's actually behind with all of this. Anyway, I've been talking a lot, so I hope you'll excuse me while I, as a good Vorin man of course, take a sip of my orange wine, which is, as you know, non-intoxicating. Wink wink, nudge nudge to the YouTube algorithm. My apologies. That went down the wrong pipe. Anyway, let me make sure I'm not entirely behind on the chat here. Let me just see. Okay, let me just make sure I'm not completely behind on the chat. I don't want to miss any of you guys' chats. Just trolling. I just mentioned with Skeleton, they used bathroom and how they were dead. Lol. Trace spoilers, I already addressed that. This beer I'm drinking is Van Golfen. If you are drinking beer, I do respect that, because I am myself a good, beer respecting person. However, at the moment, not drinking beer. So, but at the same time, I do respect it. So I understand that. El Gordo Gringo says, I would say no to Trace spoilers. Most of the books haven't been shipped yet. Yes, that's what I'm saying. Like, I myself haven't read Trace. I do have the book. I have yet to read it. I'm just trying to... I want to finish my reread of Stormlight and then Mistborn Era 2. Because I want to do The Lost Metal and then Trace. Just to make sure I'm not missing anything, missing any fine details. So I would appreciate if you don't spoil anything, at least plot related. But if you do want to talk about Cosmere mechanics, I won't begrudge you. I prefer if you don't, but I won't begrudge you. I feel like I'm quite behind on chat. Let me just make sure I try and catch up here. Kaladin comes out with Jungian insight. You can't keep people in a small dark cell genius level. That's from El Gordo Gringo again. Kaladin comes out with it. I just want to make sure I give you a proper answer here. I know I'm a bit intoxicated, but I try to give a proper answer. Comes out with the Jungian insight. You can't keep people in a small dark cell. Well, that is very true. Okay. Intoxicated Raven aside, giving El Gordo a proper answer here. He comes out with a Jungian insight, saying that you can't keep people in a small dark cell genius level. Yes, I would agree. This is technically from Kaladin's perspective, but it's actually from Brandon. And guys, you would not believe how much of a fanboy I would be if I ever got to ask Brandon some questions. But sticking to the topic at hand, Kaladin saying that you can't keep people in a dark cell. As I said, I've been rereading Stormlight, and I recently finished book 2, and the scene, I wouldn't even say a scene, like the period, because it's multiple scenes of Kaladin being trapped in the prison after challenging Amaram. That is actually a really good insight. Like, myself, being a person who's never really struggled with and I'm going to be honest here, I've never really deeply struggled with depression. However, my brother, my best friend, like, I have multiple people who has struggled, like deeply struggled with depression. So I know it's something that's all consuming, like something that doesn't, it's almost, I don't want to say anti-human, but it's like, it acts anti-human. It's something that you have to deal with, but it's so, and such an antithesis to the human psyche that it legitimately, literally tells you to kill yourself, which is insane to my mind as someone who hasn't experienced it. So that to me is just next level, like, whoa, what? Okay, so having reread that scene, it really helps me, and it really helps me understand that Brandon definitely does his research on these topics, because it's like I don't know, like I said, I'm someone who doesn't physically experience these emotions, but reading these passages again, especially a second time through, it helps me realize that, hey, I'm actually, not 100%, but to maybe a second degree, getting a feel for what it would be like living in the minds of people that have to deal with these issues. So Kaladin, he has deep, crippling depression, right? And that is not that's not something I would wish on anyone in my life. Like I said, I've got friends who have to deal with that stuff every single day, and it's not something I would wish on my worst enemy, because I've seen the debilitating, terrible effects it has on a person. Brandon, I don't know, he has this uncanny ability to allow you to see through the character into this mindset. So I'm reading this passage, right, and I'm just like, oh, okay, it's just a character trapped in a prison. It sucks, fair. It's not something you want to deal with, fair. But it is what it is. Characters have dealt with worse. He's been in chasms. He's had to deal with slavery, etc., etc. But Brandon somehow he pulls you back to reality and makes you realize, like, no, wait. This is a character that is somehow magically infused. This is a character that has, through multiple instances of trial and error and going through literal life and death scenarios, literally facing down death, staring at him across the chasms, he has forged through blood, sweat and tears these bonds with other men like Rock and Teft and Leighton and Sigzil, all these people that you've gotten to know throughout the novels. He's forged these bonds, and by depriving them from him, by locking him out, he's lost nothing. He's lost not his rank, not his title, not his friendship. He's lost nothing except his mirror, his window into the outside world. He's lost nothing except his view into anything outside of the four walls he finds himself in. And just that, losing that, is enough to completely cripple this man that is essentially, and I will almost die on this hill, he has saved Roshar from ruin by, number one, being the first Windrunner to swear his ideal, which means that he was the key for following Windrunners. Number two, saving Dalinar more than once, so essentially ensuring that the events of Oathbringer happens, saving Shallan, also ensuring that things from Words of Radiance happens. So it's like legit, all of these things happen, right, because of Kaladin Stormlight. There's a man who has dealt with every blow that life can deal him, and by just legitimately just doing something as simple as walling off this man from the rest of the world. Just 4 walls. He's just trapped in a cell, and all of that crumbles. That is something that to me just says like, whoa. Just being locked off from human contact can have such a massive impact. It's something that I myself could never have realized. So yeah, to bring this all around, as El Gordo Gringo said, Kaladin comes out with some Jungian insight. You can't keep people in a small dark cell. Yes, you can't, because even the most brilliant, most influential, most important people, if you were to lock them in isolation, keep them away from the people that bring meaning to their lives, you would completely undo them. You would completely destroy them. So yes, it is completely crucial to keeping them happy, or as a single self-fulfilling being, like however you want to put it. If you were to lock them away in a small dark cell, it would be their undoing. But that's just the the philosopher in me running away with this whole theory. As I said, I've been drinking, so do forgive the extrapolating on some of these ideas. None of this has been thought out thoroughly. I'm just kind of, mad-libbing here. Let's see what's next on the comments. Is it the stream where we talk about fabrials with bot sprints and spores? Well, I'm not so sure about that, Ignacio Prieto Huerta, if that is your true name. But I do actually, I have a video in the works, which is regarding the metals and fabrials of the, I wanted to say Stormlight Archive there, but basically the Cosmere. Eventually, I do want to make a video regarding the metals of the Cosmere. The only reason I haven't yet is you would be surprised just how much there is regarding the actual metals of the Cosmere. Like, oh yeah, sure, pewter just enhances strength in Mistborn. But how does it affect fabrials? How does iron and steel affect fabrials? How does tin and copper affect fabrials? You have no idea. This is something I really want to get into, but I have a feeling that the moment I make the video, Brandon would release a new story and completely, I don't want to say render it pointless, but make me have to do a follow-up. There's just guys, we are just so new into the Cosmere that I myself feel like we're just so far behind. I can't even keep up. And as you know, literally every week I bring out a new Cosmere video. So, I try, but damn, Brandon is just a machine, guys. He's just a machine. Anyway, give me a sec while I pour myself a refreshment, just refill my refreshment. While you guys are at it, I see we only have about 7 likes so far. There's about 70 of you guys watching. Please like the video. From what I've heard, apparently if you have about 50% of the people watching liking the video, more people watch. So if we can get those likes up to like 20 to 30, that would be great. I would really appreciate if any of you guys just like the video. You guys watching it, you guys enjoying the video. Also, even if you don't like the stream, if you like the channel, give me a like. Throw me a bone here, guys. I would appreciate it. Just give me a couple likes. I kind of want to experiment with the YouTube algorithm and see, hey, does likes on a live stream actually make a difference? Let's see. Anyway, let's go down the chat. You don't need to kill. This is from Azul Azul the Greater. He says you don't need to kill Kaladin if you can sideline him. I have a full rant about the end of the Rhythm of War and what might happen in Book 5, but I don't know if you want me to go into something spoilery. I know I've been ranting for a while, and Zul, you probably made that comment way earlier, but please feel free to elaborate. You're saying here you don't need to kill Kaladin if you sideline him. Well, obviously I would require your full rant to understand exactly what you're saying, but I agree. However, based on the ending of Book 4, it doesn't seem like Brandon will sideline Kaladin, even if there's zero Kaladin viewpoints come like Book 5. Zeth is definitely going to be the primary viewpoint with the primary backflashes, and Kaladin is going to go with him. So even if you don't have Kaladin POVs, you're going to get Kaladin. So I don't know how that works. I still feel like Kaladin dying is a possibility, and it's still part of my predictions for the next book, for Book 5, because Book 5, as the end of the first arc of the Stormlight archive, I feel like there's going to have to be some big emotional moments in terms of sacrifices, but also payoffs. And in terms of sacrifices, like, guys, I like Kaladin. He's definitely one of my favorite characters, but I don't know, bro. I have a strong feeling he's not gonna make it through the first book. I know it's not a popular theory. I know a lot of people want him to survive and think like, oh no, there's no way. Like, he's gonna reach the next ideal, the final ideal, and he's gonna lead the Windrunners. Guys, I would love for that to be the case. I would love it. Hey, Brandon, if you do that, great. You have my support, but I am also I don't want to say connoisseur, but someone who studies story and who studies how stories are constructed. And if I were to look at how the Stormlight archive is structured, I have a feeling that Kaladin is not going to survive Book 5. Now, I don't think it would be due to suicide. That would just be the bad move, in my opinion. I think that if Brandon did that, that would be the move that completely ended a lot of readers' faith in him. But I do think something's going to happen. Maybe he survives, but through some method. Maybe he's not a Windrunner anymore, or maybe he's not someone who's really active on the battlefield, etc., etc. You know, all these permutations could be possible. I just think that based on our current understanding, we can't 100% with 100% accuracy say that Kaladin is gonna survive Book 5 100%. That's just my opinion. You know, I could be wrong. I would be totally open to being wrong. I'm just, giving my opinion here. Okay, let me just make sure I'm not too behind on the chat. Let me see. Smidward says, love seeing you back on YouTube. Thanks, guy. I actually appreciate that. It's been a rough year to 18 months or so. There was... Okay, this is Raven getting real with you guys. And I know there's about 70 odd viewers, so like I said, if you guys can give a like, I would appreciate it. There's 70 odd views so far, 10 concurrent viewers, etc. I'm not sure what is currently in the view stack, who's currently viewing, but I would appreciate if all of you can give a like. But just to get real with you guys, there was a time where I almost completely, I don't even want to say almost, like completely, essentially, gave up on YouTube in terms of a way to express my desires, my loves, the things I enjoy, the things I like to think about. There was a time where I completely gave up on that, and not in terms of like, oh, I dislike any of you guys, or I dislike any of the things that the community brought to me, but purely just on a level of I was pouring so much of myself into the channel, but completely in the wrong mindset. I was seeking validation. And look, I know this is supposed to be a Stormlight stream, and so if anyone watches this, I hope, you get some Stormlight insights into it, whatever. But for those of you who seek more, this is me just being real for a moment. There was a time where I nearly gave up everything. Not even nearly, completely gave up everything with regards to YouTube. Because of nothing else than me just seeing that, hey, there's really no point. If I just continued this, like, yes, I could speak about, sure, my favorite fantasy series, but what else is there, It's like I was in kind of a nihilistic spiral. But luckily, I did find my way out of it. And getting back to your comments, Midwood, I found a way to make myself happy doing what I enjoyed. I made myself happy learning that, hey, maybe I am not the best person to talk about the Cosmere or fantasy novels or movies that I watch or whatever, but I have something that I genuinely want to talk about. I have something that I want to get out there into the world. So being that kind of person, I was like, okay, do I just give up on that view? Do I just give up on the optimism that comes with wanting to spread, wisdom and love and enjoyment and fulfillment and all those good things? Did I just want to give up on that and accept that, okay, maybe I just give up? Or did I want to, at the very least, push and pursue and make my way towards something better in the world? So I just heard it, well, hey, if there's one place where I can talk about the things that matter to me, whilst also talking about things like, Stormlight Archive and the Cosmere and Kaladin and Stormlight Archive and Vin from the Mistborn series and Wax and Wayne and all these things that I really enjoy. If there's one place where I can talk about these things and maybe to the smallest degree have some kind of influence, YouTube would be it. So I dug myself out of that nihilistic spiral and I brought myself back up to the light, I want to say, and just told myself, like, hey, at some point, grow up. You need to grow up. You need to accept what you believe. You need to accept what you enjoy, and you need to actually speak about it. So that's what I did. So seeing that comment from you, Smidwood, maybe it even seems completely inane and pointless and something so small and trivial to you, just saying like, hey, I enjoy seeing you back on YouTube. But to me, it matters. It's something real. It's something important. And I appreciate that. So thank you. I do appreciate it. Thank you, Smidwood, for displaying to me that you enjoy me being back on YouTube, and I enjoy being back on YouTube. Speaking of which, there will be about a week or so of me not uploading anything. I'm just currently, getting a backlog of videos sorted, so there will be a bit of a dip in videos, but then again, regular uploads for the next couple of weeks. Nothing too serious, but yes, I appreciate it. I appreciate all of you. Fingolfin, especially. Josh Haney. Josh, you've been, I don't know if you're watching this live or you're going to watch this afterwards or whatever, but you've been one of the guys that's been around since like 100 subscribers. You've been around since like the OG days, and I appreciate that. So to all of you who've been around since like the beginning and who've stuck around even through my hiatuses and my struggling to upload, those of you who have stuck around and who have enjoyed the content, I appreciate you. And I want to just say thank you for everything. You have provided me with an outlet to just speak, and you've listened, and you've allowed me to just, express myself. And for that, I will forever be grateful. So I just want to say thank you. So thank you to everyone. And not just the OGs, but even the new guys. You might have just discovered this channel, but you know what? You are important. You matter. You have brought light into my life. And for that, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for just bringing light and purpose to my life again. I had a period of numbness, nothingness, but just being able to just talk about the things I enjoy, stories and Stormlight Archive, you all have allowed me an outlet to just, be me. So I appreciate that. Thank you. Sincerely, thank you. From the bottom of my heart to all of you. Anyway, let's get done with all that sappy bull crap, if I can put it that way. I appreciate it, but I don't want this stream to be a tearjerker or some sappy stuff. If you're watching, please like. Apparently I've heard that helps bring new viewers in, so live viewers liking the live stream apparently helps people coming in, so please do like the stream. Let me just take a sip of my refreshments here. As I said earlier, a good orange wine, as a good Warren man would partake in. Nothing violet, because of course I follow the codes as any good Warren man would. Okay, let's get on. I kind of hung on that single comment, that single chat from one person, but I don't want to get too caught up in every single chat. So let me see. Van Golfen asks, does YouTube disable comments if there are swears in them? I don't think they disable the comments, but if I were to swear in the stream, I do think they derank or shadow ban or something like that. They do something to the channel to limit its reach, at least in terms of this video. Let me just see here. My comments about how Kaladin should die aren't showing. Oh, well, in that case, maybe if you used a very explicit language, it might not show. That was just a discussion between Fingolfin and Al Gordo. I'm quite behind on the chat, I feel. I do want to acknowledge the chat, because you guys are important to me. You are the community that I'm talking to, so I don't want to miss anything. Let's just see here. Chowta is found on Scadrial and Roshaw, so Hoy does it collect. What? Is Chowta? No. Al Gordo is saying that Chowta is found on Scadrial. I know it's on Roshaw, but on Scadrial? I know I haven't read The Lost Metal, but Scadrial? Come on. Really? Okay. Like I said, I haven't read The Lost Metal. Maybe it's in there, but you'd think that if it's something that's like world, I don't even want to say world hopper related, but like if it's something that's gonna cross multiple Cosmere worlds, there should be some kind of crossover. Chowta and Scadrial, I've never read. We'll see if it's in The Lost Metal, but I feel like it's kind of forced if it's only in The Lost Metal and not in prior books. I'm gonna do a reread of Mistborn Era 2, so I might be wrong. But I don't know. I guess I'll have to see. Let's see. Jesus Christ. Fingolfin is asking, what do you think about abortions? Fingolfin, bro, you've been a loyal viewer for a long time. Wow. Bro, I've pledged to myself I would be open and upfront with my views on the channel, but geez, I did not expect to be honest, I did not expect a question like that. Okay, but I'm not going to be one of those wishy-washy YouTubers who just kind of shies away from the question and tries to avoid. No, I will deal with it head on. So, what do I think about abortions? Oof. I'm going to be honest. There's a lot I'm not 100% sure on. On one hand, a large part of me shouts, my body, my choice, meaning that, hey, the woman gets to choose what she wants to do. On the other hand, it's like, bro, that's a human life. It's like, it's not just your body. I'm fairly decided on a lot of opinions here. And if any of you have watched any of my non-Cosmere videos, you'll probably be aware that I'm not a fan of government intervention. So let me just say this right now. My opinion might change, but to be exact, on one hand, I don't think the government can tell you what you can and cannot do with your body. On the other hand, I don't think the government can and cannot tell you what you should do with your body. So, yes, for some women in the Western Hemisphere, in first world countries, they choose abortion. I don't think that the government should tell them that they can't do that. On the other hand, I don't think it's healthy for women to use abortion as essentially contraception. Now, I'm not saying all women do. I would never say that all women do that, but you would be blind to the realities of the situation if you believe that zero women ever use abortion as some kind of contraceptive. If you were to do that, and I'm not even a religious believer, I'm an atheist, full-on atheist, I don't see that as healthy for the individual. That might just be my personal opinion shining through. Maybe I'm biased, but I just don't see that as healthy. I don't think you should be forced to carry a pregnancy to term that you don't agree with. For example, if you were the victim, how do I say this, that YouTube would accept, the victim of a non-consensual assault, if you were that kind of victim, I don't agree with you being forced to carry that to term. At the same time, I have heard and know of people who are the result of those kind of copulations who are glad that they were not terminated. It's a very messy subject, and I think maybe at some point I'll do a video, or more than likely series of videos like discussing the topic, because God, guys, this is a topic that deserves more than just me like pontificating on it while I'm drinking wine and kind of like intoxicated. So I'll say this: I don't think it is morally permissible. At the same time, I don't think the government has any right in telling you what you can and cannot do with your body. So any like solution, regardless of how it's implemented, any solution should be voluntary and kind of enforced via the community and the social how do I say, like the social makeup of the person, like the person within that social hierarchy. So if you are a person within some kind of social web or social I don't even have the words to describe this, but if you are someone within some kind of social situation, I would prefer that the morality of this is enforced through social means, meaning like family, friends, etc., how the community views you, rather than a top-down governmental approach. I'm just going to say that. Getting my full views on it right now, probably not the best time to get my full views on it, and I probably definitely will have a full video on it. But right now, that's the best answer I can give you. And I'm giving you this answer, Fingolfin, because you've been like a viewer since the OG days. So I do want to give you a proper answer. And currently, while I respect you, that's the best I can give you right now, dude. I just can't give you a more thought out answer because I do need some time to formulate and articulate my views on the matter. Anyway, not to get bogged down by a single comment, let's see what else the chat has for me here. Hold on, guys. Let me just also take a drink here. Okay. Let me just make sure I've not missed anything. Okay. I see Smidwood just asked you, why would you ask that? Fingolfin says that Kaladin should smile more. Yes, he would, but at the same time, Syl probably tells him that all the time, and then he just probably decides that, yes, I probably should smile more, and then Syl is like, yes, you should, and then he's like, okay, I will, and he doesn't, and then Syl's like, oh my god, I told you you should, and then he's like, yeah, I know, I'm sorry, and then he still doesn't smile more. So, is what it is. This is from somebody currently in a reread, so just being in Rhythm of War, in the beginning stages of rereading Rhythm of War, it kind of just, sounds like a, hey, Syl says, please, I'm trying to help you. And Kaladin says, yes, I know, but at the same time, my brain is broken, and I can't. And Syl's like, yeah, but like, have you tried doing XYZ? And Kaladin's like, yeah, I have. I'm doing it now and it's not helping, and Syl's like, okay, I just wish I could help, etc, etc. It's like a back and forth. But yeah. Let me just see here. I don't want to miss any chats. Your myth Brazil says, in order to say the first word you have to be very broken, unless you're Hodazian, of course. So you couldn't say the first words. That's actually funny. You'd think like you'd have to be completely broken to say the words, but Lopen did. At the same time, I do think, yeah, it seems clear that for you to bond a spread, regardless of the kind of spread, you need to have some kind of problem with your spirit web to be able to do that. But that should be obvious. Let me just make sure I haven't missed any chats. Fingolfin says, Kaladin's the type of guy to sit down in the evening and drink a cup of vinegar. sorry guys. Yeah. Yeah. Kaladin's a good guy, but yeah. He's the kind of guy to sit down in the evening and drink a cup of vinegar, as Fingolfin puts it. Yeah. Drink a cup of vinegar. I like that. He's definitely that kind of guy. Like, I'm rereading Rhythm of War, and I'm like, dude, just get over yourself, It's just like, oh my god, you're so depressive. But like I said, I'm a guy who's had to deal with that stuff before, in terms of like friends and family. So I get it. Just saying like, hey, get over it doesn't help. But at the same time, I'm like, oh my god, dude, again. You're depressed again, Hey, it's something that humans have to deal with. So I'm not judgmental about it. I just find the humor in the comment. So let's move on before someone takes this out of like context, as everyone will in YouTube world. Okay, I want to kind of get caught up with the comments. Let me just see here. Kaladin has also changed Dalinara. I just want to make sure I've caught up on all the comments. Oh my god, I skipped ahead way too much. Hold on. How far back was I? Oh my god. Hold on. Sorry guys. I'm just trying to make sure that I don't want to miss comments, because a single small comment can like, oh god, I keep knocking the mic, my bad. A single small comment can like get me off on like the wildest tangent, so I don't want to miss anything. While you're like watching this, please like the video if you haven't yet. If you have, I really appreciate you. You're one of the true like supporters of this channel. I know I'm small. I'm a small little 6,000 subscriber channel, and I really appreciate all of you. But for those of you who are watching, if you like it, you are one of the top people. Like, I really appreciate you, because yeah, getting engagement on the videos, surprisingly not as easy as you'd think. But yeah, every like is appreciated. Let me just see, have I missed any comments? If you could live on a Cosmere planet, this is from Yamalith, Brazil. Hold on, did I miss anything? Dalinor's older son, I think it'd be better go. Okay, if you could live on a Cosmere planet, which would you choose? Oof, that's tough. Okay, this is a question I feel like Brandon himself has been asked like multiple times. If you could live on a Cosmere planet, which one? Well, personally, assuming I would be a magic user. Ooh, that's tough, bro. On the one hand, I like, Era 2 Scadrial. It's close to current technological advancements. On the other hand, Surge Binding is just so cool. Bro, imagine, like, just, even if you weren't a Windrunner, just like a Surge Binder of any kind, like almost any kind would be really cool. Oh man, that sucks. I do like Nalthis. Like, Warbreaker is probably my favorite standalone novel at the moment. Oh man, you're asking me. That's a real, like, that's a question that corners me. If I could live on a Cosmere planet, which would I choose? Okay. To make this fair, assuming I don't get magical powers, which like planet would I want to live on? Assuming I don't get like some kind of magical ability that puts me above the rest. Just, flat level, like, hey, you kind of got to deal with the circumstances on XYZ planet. Okay, let's see. Let's think, Raven. I want to still say Scadrial, because on Rosha you have the Desolations, which is not pleasant to deal with, if I can put it that way. On Nalthis, whilst alright, it doesn't seem ideal, especially if you are someone who's keen on keeping your breaths, because you either have to manipulate other people into giving you their breaths, which is like kind of their life essence, or you have to give up your own. And in Elantris or on Cell, it's like, it depends on where you live, So, I would probably say Scadrial, I guess. Yeah, it'd probably be Scadrial, because even on Roshar, you have to deal with the Desolation. So, if you're unlucky enough to not have a Spren, it's like, oh great, I get to deal with the end of the world, yay. No thank you. So yeah, Scadrial. It's clearly a planet that Brandon is continuously developing, and that continuously gets updated, and at the very least has some kind of future, because he plans on having a modern and futuristic story set for the planet. So yeah, sure, I'll say Scadrial. It's boring, because I know Brandon says that too, because he just kind of wants to write, and I want to write too. But for me, it's more just like, where will I not die? If I could choose like a planet where I get a magical power, oh, that's tough, because I do like Cell in terms of, I like Elantrian magic. Basically, it's the most overpowered magic if you get enough prep time, in terms of like, hey, for example, a Surge Binder is going to come and attack your city. If you know what to look for, and you know what to study, and you know what to do, you can plan out the Aeons ahead of time, and the moment the Surge Binder arrives, write out the right Aeon and just drain them of all their investiture, completely sever their bond with their Spren, and attach that bond to yourself. That is the level of power that an Elantrian has, if they have the correct information and prep time. If I don't have that, then obviously I'd want to be a friggin' Surge Binder, bro. It's like, oh yeah, sure, I get to I get to control the damn, like, forces of nature, I guess. So yeah, sure. If it's not about prep time or anything, and it's all about just like, hey, which planet would you like to be on because of magical power, then sure. Put me on Roshar, because I would love to have essentially power over the freaking laws of nature. Why not? Okay. Okay, let's make sure I've not missed anything. Let's see. Azul the Greater joins in on the chat. I'm probably so behind on the chat. Sorry, guys. But I do want to give you like proper answers to your questions. Hope you all are enjoying your refreshments like me. A good orange wine with no alcohol content, like a good Vorin man. Let's see here. We know there will be a 10-year time skip between book 5 and 6. To keep things going and keep them interesting, we can't have a good guys win, so to spice things up. Sorry guys, I'm just reading through the comments here. I think Lift will be the main character starting in book 6. Her ability to change food into Stormlight is super important. I think she'll be the last Radiant. This is all from Azul the Greater, by the way, for those watching on the replay. So how do you shut down all the Radiants? Do you take away the Stormlight? How do you get Stormlight from the Stormfather? So no Stormfather, no Radiance, and we know to kill a spread. Dalinar will break his oaths, Brandon said so in book 2, if I remember correctly. So we have big showdown between Dalinar and Odium coming. Dalinar will be his own champion, but we don't know who the champions of Odium is. A lot smarter YouTubers think it's going to be not be willing to help this boss. Shendy, I think the final contest of champions will not be a battle like sword and duel, but a duel of morality. We've seen Dalinar and Taravagian have these kinds of duels. When they sit by the fire, they talk about what it takes to be a ruler. This will be the dueling grounds. Taravagian will give Dalinar 5 cases to judge over. If you make the right call, he wins. He just needs to make the right call. 5, because 3 would be too few and more than 5 would be too long. I think 5 would be just perfect. Cases like the man steals bread to feed his family. What do you do? The first 3 cases are to get us into the flow of these battles. They're pretty easy, but cases 4 is where it picks up. Cases 4 is the betrayal of Moash's grandparents and the knowledge of what this trail leads to. Does Dalinar make the same decisions, or does he face the fact that he wronged somebody very badly? I don't know how this ends, but I'm pretty sure of case 5. Okay, so Azul the Greater, I'm trying to make sense of your string of comments here. Let me just go back through it and make sure I'm not missing anything. So you're saying there's a 10-year time skip between book 5 and 6. I'm not sure if there's going to be 10 to 15 to 20. There's been all 3 numbers thrown around. While I think it's probably going to be about 10, because, you know, 10 in the Stormlight archive, it's an important number. But until book 6 comes out, there's no way of knowing. But let's assume it's 10. Okay. Can't have the good guys wins. How do we spice things up? To be honest with you, I'm thinking more than likely book 5 ends on a bittersweet note. On one hand, we get some kind of, I don't want to say victory, but we get some kind of like, hey, we kind of, you know, won in some case. Maybe we got this right or that right or whatever. We achieved some kind of goal. But on the other hand, we kind of dropped the ball, you know, we kind of failed in some way. There's a aspect that we somehow just weren't able to account for. So I'm thinking it'll be bittersweet. That is why my prediction, I don't want to say it's gonna happen, but my prediction that Kaladin potentially, all this is potential, guys. Don't take what I say with as if it's cast in stone, but Kaladin potentially dies in book 6 or book 5 actually. If Kaladin dies in book 5, but we still get some kind of like closure or resolution to the story, and it kind of provides some kind of acceptable or satisfying conclusion, halfway, not 100%, but halfway conclusion to part of the story, I feel like that'll be enough to keep us over to book 5. So that is why I think there's that possibility in book 5, is that because we know that Stormlight Archive is a series of books where the first 5 books is one arc, the second 5 books is another arc, and altogether it tells this whole big story, right? So the end of book 5 will have to correspond with some kind of, number one, payoff in terms of narrative structure. It'll have to provide us with some kind of payoff that feels satisfying to read, but at the same time is kind of, there's a feeling of you had to give up something to get what you got. You had to give up a thing you value to get the outcome that you want. So somehow I do feel that in Stormlight 5 our characters will achieve something that they want or get something that's important, but at the same time there will be a sacrifice, and I have a feeling that will be the death of Kaladin. This is all like detailed in my video with my predictions on book 5, so we'll have to see how that goes. I could be wrong, but it's just my opinion. We'll see how it goes. God, guys, I'm taking way too long on this comment. Let me just see. Azul the Greater says he thinks Lift will be the main character. I don't know if she'll be a main character, but I do think she'll be a major character. Like, think how Shallan is in current Stormlight. She'll be on that level. So, like, there won't be a single character that's the main quote-unquote character, but there will be a character that's, like, quite focused on, along with another character that's quite focused on. So I'm pretty sure that Lift will be one of those. But yeah, anyway, those of you who have just tuned in, if you haven't yet, please like the stream. I'm looking at the current number of likes. We're on 20. If we can get that to 25, I will appreciate it. I do appreciate everyone liking. I just want to see if this actually, I've been told that liking the stream apparently helps the amount of live viewers. So if you guys can push us up to 25, that would be greatly appreciated. I'd like to see if that has any impact. But yeah, also taking a sip of my refreshment. Like I said, good orange wine, like any good foreign man would. No alcohol content whatsoever, of course. I hope you all have your own refreshment on hand. Let me make sure I haven't missed anything. Azul the Greater, I know you've left a lot of comments. I would appreciate if you kind of condensed it, just so I can get the gist of it, because you've left so many. I'm not sure what you want me to address. I've kind of tried to address, like, how book 5 ends and how Lift is going to play in a part of it and stuff like that, but yeah, I'm not sure exactly what you want me to address. So if you can just try and condense that into a single comment, I will try to address it based on... Oh, I keep knocking the mic. I will try to address it based on my current understanding of the story, but there's only so much I can do. Okay. Let's see. Oh! The God, as I always refer to you in stream, says, Chowder was in Lost Metal. You got spoiled tragically. Oh no! Is Chowder in Lost Metal? Number one, like, that's dope, but at the same time, like, oh my god, that's such a spoiler. Oh my god, no. I honestly don't care. To be honest, like, I'm good with world building spoilers, because it's legit what I do, guys. I do world building. I do, like, world building videos on my channel, so it is what it is. But yeah, not a problem. Chowder was in Lost Metal. That's interesting. It's a Herdazian food. I could be wrong. I will probably be reading Lost Metal in the next month or so. So, hey, maybe it's not Herdazian. Maybe it's like originating from Scadrial, though I doubt it. I don't know. I don't want to make like assumptions. There will be dedicated streams to the Spawn Era 2 and the Lost Metal, and Tress and the Emerald Sea. I will have streams and videos dedicated to both, so don't you worry. I will address all the comments regarding that. Let me just see here. I just want to make sure I'm not missing any comments. Azul the Greater, I appreciate all your comments, bro. I see you're commenting a lot. He says, cases like a man steals bread to feed his family. Okay. Let me just see. I don't know how this ends, but I'm pretty sure case 5. Bro! GiveX is actually in the stream, bro. Okay, I don't know when you made those comments, GiveX. I don't even know if you're still in the stream. But props to you, bro, for being here. I mean, I haven't seen your comments lately, but I know you were like massive in the old Discord. Eventually, we will start that up again. But I remember you being in the Discord and being part of the community and all that. So I appreciate you, GiveX. I appreciate you. Yeah, you're like one of the OGs, guy. I don't know if you're still in the stream as I'm reading this, but I appreciate you. I know I get on tangents and one comment can keep me going for multiple minutes, 10, 15, 20 minutes, but yeah, I appreciate you, GiveX. Let's just see. Azul says, we've seen this death rattle in the book 1, something about it have a... Azul, I appreciate you, but you're living like a lot of comments, and while I would love to extrapolate on a lot of these, there's a lot of detail. I'll tell you what, my DMs are open on like Twitter and things like that. I would love for you to extrapolate on this, like for me, so that I might even make a video on it, dude. But right now, for me, while I'm drinking, as I said, good Varren man only drinks orange wine that is not intoxicating. I don't feel I can give you a proper answer in the current context. So please do like send me a DM on like Twitter or something, because that's or email me. It's on my YouTube about page, but like I want to give you a proper answer, and I don't feel the current like format is the best way to do that. So yeah, sorry, bro. Let's see here. Red Death. Let's see. Your spirit web has to be fractured to form a Nahel bond. How broken it used to be, I don't think it's ever specified. Yeah, your spirit web definitely has to be, I don't want to say broken, but splint. Dude, the Cosmere has so many concepts. I can't say splintered. It has to be altered. There has to be gaps in it for the Nahel bond to grab onto and form. So yes, you need some space in that spirit web, if I can put it that way. God says you can have a Nahel bond without a damaged soul, but it's more interesting for Brando to traumatize his cat. Yeah, that is true. I look at it as both like an internal world building thing and also narrative. Internal world building wise, yes, you need a fracture in your spirit web for Nahel bond to form. Narrative wise, yeah, you need some kind of conflict, bro. You need something to make the reader interested in reading that character's story. So it goes both ways. Hey, Brandon is a really good writer, and this just shows that he finds a way to make it work both ways for him. Let's see here. God asked me what's my favorite romance in the Cosmere. Like, okay, maybe this is colored by my recent reading of Stormlight, but I really like Shalon and Adolin. At the same time, if I dig back into my memory, I actually do like Steris and Wax. I don't know, like I know Brandon has the whole trope of arranged marriage just works out, which, you know, is probably not the best trope to have, but at the same time, I do like, you know, two people come together and realize, like, oh, we're actually good for each other, and, you know, sticking it out. Actually, like, hey, maybe we should try this out for a while, and finding that, oh, this actually works. I like that. I don't want to say it's necessarily my favorite when it comes to Steris and Wax, because I haven't gotten enough screen time, but Shalon and Adolin, I do like that. That's probably my favorite romance. I was tempted to say Vin and Elend, but I don't know, bro. Vin and... this is probably going to get me some hate in the comments, but I feel like Vin and Elend was a little bit forced, so I don't want to say that's my favorite. I do like Vin and Elend, but it was a little bit forced, if I'm going to be honest. So I don't want to like say that that's my favorite, to be honest. Let's see what else there is. Red Death says, I'd live on Skadriel for sure. Era 3, so my lifetime kind of would be perfect. Rock and roll and writing emotions. Hey, you can't choose a era of Mistborn that doesn't exist yet, bro. That's cheating. You gotta choose something that exists already, bro. That's cheating. Because otherwise I could just say, oh yeah, sure, I'd live on Skadriel based on like modern living, like with internet and shit. Obviously you can't choose that. Come on. God says, avoiding spoilers, I'd love to live in Secret Project 3. I don't remember which that is, but I know there's one where it's like I briefly looked into the secret projects because I don't want to be spoiled on much, but there's one with a, how do I say this without spoiling, a Stormlight character where a planet is like like there's a, how do I say this? I can't even remember, but it's like daylight rolls over the planet. Like I can't even properly explain it, but it's a character from Stormlight in Space Stage. I'm definitely interested in that. But yeah, I'd have to see how that gets played out. I can say this, I'm very intrigued into how Brandon pulls that off. We'll just say that. Let's just see here. Ignacio Prieto Hugueta asks, which is the planet with a better mythology from the point of view of the locals, obviously. Point of view from the locals. That's tough, bro. Mythology from the local, probably Nalthus, because, well, they have a mythology. But I think you probably mean mythology as in just what the locals believe about their general existence. See, it's very difficult for me to not say Roshar, because I know I'm currently rereading that, so that's like stuck in my mind. At the same time, like, the Rosharans have all the mythology about the Almighty and the old magic and the desolations and the Radiance and Aharietiam and the Recreants and all these things. They've got this mythology. So while I want to say Nalthus, if I were to just look at it in a vacuum, looking at it in terms of what is actually visible on page, yeah, to be honest, the Rosharans probably have the most solid mythology for their story, I suppose, for their world. So yeah, if I had to be honest, that would probably be my answer. Better mythology is probably be Roshar, because it just has so much more world building in it, and that's all thanks to Brandon, because it's a long series. So I guess it is what it is. You have to have the world building in place for a long series. Anyway, let's move on. Let me just say, let me just see. Emmanuel Vieira says, bro, your videos are tremendous. Saludos desde Uruguay. Can't read the last part, but I appreciate you, Emmanuel. Uruguay. That's wow. I figured most of my viewers, at least from what YouTube tells me, is from like, I don't know, America and like Britain. But that's cool, dude. I appreciate you, Uruguay. Remember, this is all thanks to Brandon. Brandon Sanderson is like the glue that holds this community together, so I appreciate that. Thank you, dude. God says I could not handle a soul death in book 5. Yeah, fair enough. I mean, I think Kaladin could die, but Spren can't really die, like proper die. Still might die, quote unquote, but I don't think she would, you know, die, you know. Saying that, maybe my theory of a Kaladin death is a little bit less valid, but I do think there's that possibility. Let me just see here. Red Death says, I think Dalinar unites all the original Honor Spring and takes up the Shard of Honor. In doing so, and Kaladin is made a new herald as he dies. Dalinar takes up all the Honor Spring. I disagree with that. And Kaladin makes a new herald. There's a lot of people theorizing that Kaladin would make a new herald or become a new herald as he dies, or at some point before he dies. I disagree. I don't think Kaladin would be or become a new herald. I don't think that they would I think they will find out how the Oath Pact was forged, but I don't think they would reforge the Oath Pact, because that wouldn't solve the problem. It would just be like putting a band-aid on the problem, right? So while I think it would be a temporary solution, I think that might ultimately not be the solution that they're going for. Anyway, let's move on. Confucianism, if I'm reading your name right, says, what do you think is the link between the fifth ideal and how the heralds got their powers? Dude, you're asking me a question that only Brandon can answer. That's a Raffo from Brandon, bro. Like, the link between the fifth ideal and how the heralds got their powers. The heralds, we know, got their powers from the honor blades. They got their powers from the blades that honor gave them. But in terms of the fifth ideal, I have no idea. Most likely, the fifth ideal is just the full expression of what you could do with those specific surges. Like, if you say that, okay, let's say Lightweaving, okay, Lightweaver, fifth ideal, as an example. Obviously, you got your shard plate and all that, but fifth ideal, it's like, this is just a theory, so don't go anywhere with this, but a theory is like, you could combine Lightweaving with soul casting to give your illusions more substance than normal. So you could essentially create an army that could actually kill enemies. Maybe you could create 5 or 10 combatants. I'm not saying you could like create hundreds or anything, but let's say 5 or 10 combatants that could they are literally nothing more than illusions, but through soul casting the air around them and stuff like that, you could actually have them stab through and kill enemies. That would be like the ultimate expression. But more than that, I don't know, dude. That is up to Brandon. I can't say more than that. Let me just see here. The implication of Chowta in Lost Metal is that Hodasians had to flee Roshar after Stormlight, you know, because Todium is going to win. Do they flee rush? I mean, technically, Era 2 takes place between Stormlight 5 and 6. Could be 100% a possibility. Like I said, I haven't read Lost Metal yet. I'm getting to that in the next month or so. I don't want to give you guys a bullcrap answer on what I'm like speculating here. Also, if you're watching and you haven't yet, please hit the like button. I'm trying to get to 25 likes while I'm watching, like while we're streaming live. I'm gonna see if we can get to 25. Anyway, China Lost Metal is that Herdazians had to flee because Todium is gonna win. I don't think so. I just think, like, you know, based on what we know from Stormlight 4, there's already a lot of Scadrians on Roshar. You have Axendwith, which is the terrorist woman that speaks to Venli. You have the terroristman steward that is in the employ of Dalinar and Navani. You have Felt, who is just like some random terroristman who just, you know, lives there, I guess. You obviously have Thydakar, who I'm trying not to spoil, but I'm pretty sure if you're tuning into this stream, you probably know who Thydakar is, but let's just keep to his Roshar name. Thydakar, Scadrian, is there. There's a lot of Scadrian influence on Roshar, so it makes sense that there would be some Rosharan influence on Scadrial. I don't want to say that because of that, you know, Todium, Terravodium wins in some way, or pushes them out. I just think it's, you know, a natural consequence of multiple worlds, coalescing and interacting and trading and mingling and things like that. Let me just see here. Oh, Givex is saying that he commented on the latest videos and enjoyed them, and I'm definitely looking forward to a new Discord server. I will get to that, Givex. I'm just trying to build up the channel again and, you know, re-solidify how this community is formed. But I definitely will have a community again at some point in terms of a Discord one. Oh, Render says he thinks that Chowta got to the Lost Metal solely by wit, because why not? You know what? Fair enough. I might be thinking way too much into it, and wit / Hoid could just be like, you know what? Yeah, Chowta. I like Chowta. It's now on Scadrial. Why not? Could totally be a thing. Why not? There's nothing says it can't be. Givek says, speaking of Elend and Vin being forced, I personally feel like many things in Mistborn Era 1 were forced. Yeah. Mistborn Era 1 was good in terms of plot. When it comes to character, it leaves quite a bit to be desired. There's a lot that was forced, a lot I'm not a fan of, if I can put it that way. So I don't know. In all fairness, it was back when Brandon was still a new writer. He wrote Elondris, that got published. Then he wrote literally the entirety of Mistborn Era 1. 1, 2, and 3. He wrote all 3 books, then published. So it's understandable if there were just literally some things that felt a little bit forced. So I'm not going to fault him for that. So, yeah. I don't want to say it's bad, but it is something we have to acknowledge in the prior eras of Mistborn. Let me just see here. Do you think a Stormfather dies? Oof. Okay, that's a big question. Okay, let me just make sure I'm reading this comment right. Do you think the Stormfather dies, ending high storms and turning the landscape into a desert by part 2? Hence why Lift becomes a more prominent character. Huh. Do I think the Stormfather dies? I'm going to be honest, Robert Lightsong, I don't think the Stormfather would die. But to give... Okay, let me give your theory some credence. Okay. The landscape becomes a desert by Era 2. Okay, by part 2. Technically not Era 2, part 2 of Stormlight Archive. Right? Liv becomes a more prominent character. Potentially. But focusing on the first part, Stormfather dies. I don't think you would need the Stormfather to die for that to become, you know, like a part of Stormlight. Or at least part of Era 2. What you would need is for Dalinar to die. Think about it this way. The Stormfather is, well, you know, the spren of the Stormfather mixed with the cognitive shadow of honor. So if that is mixed together and bonded with Dalinar, and we know that the bonding of spren, especially spren that don't have the experience of dealing with a I don't know, like a bond partner, like for example Syl, when her previous Radiant before Kaladin died, she became mindless, right? Because she wasn't experienced with dealing with that. More modern spren are more adept, I would say, at dealing with that emotional, mental trauma. So let's say that the Stormfather, who has very rarely and very infrequently bonded with a Radiant, with a Bondsmith, let's say Dalinar dies, that would probably do it. If Dalinar dies and the Stormfather would lose himself in a similar way that Syl did, it probably would have a similar effect to, you know, I don't want to say ending high storms, as your comment says, but maybe affecting them heavily. As in, you know, maybe there's a problem with the usage of Stormlight or something like that, because Lift uses Lifelight, you know, and maybe she becomes the one savior. The problem is trying to predict with especially like your comment deals with like book 6 predictions, which is difficult to deal with because we haven't even got book 5 yet, and there's at least a 10-year gap between like book 5 and 6. So we don't know. We just don't know, dude. There's just so much we can't be sure of. So based on our current understanding and assuming that book 6 isn't too like alien from book 5, potentially that happens, but I don't know. I don't see Dalinar necessarily dying in book 5. I think if there is going to be a major character death, it could be Dalinar, but I have a feeling it might be Kaladin more, but I'm open to being wrong on that. It might be Dalinar, but Dalinar is one of my favorite characters, so maybe I'm just biased. Maybe I just don't want him to die, so we'll see how that goes. Anyway, I see we're nearing the end of the comments. Let me just take a sip here. For all of you good traditional Vorin men drinking orange wine that is not in any way intoxicating, please feel free to take another sip. Okay, let me just see what have I missed here. God says spren can die permanently. Remember Fenderana? Oh, you know what? That is a very good point. Oh my god, dude. That is a very good point. Whew. I had not even considered anti-investiture. I had not even considered like that possibility. Damn, bro. Okay. Let me just recalibrate my thinking here. Spren can die permanently. That's a good point. With anti-investiture, damn. Okay. So if the Stormfather die, but like if the Stormfather is the Spren of the storms, so presumably the storms would continue without the Stormfather. However, if you used anti-investiture to legitimately kill the Stormfather, number one, you would destroy Dalinar as a bondsmith. That's just number one. Okay, so a lot of Urithiru leadership, Radiance, etc. would be gone. Number two, would the absence of the Stormfather cause a loss of Stormlight during the high storms? I don't know, but I kind of want to say yes, because the Stormfather during high storms, because of the Stormfather has an aspect of Honor's cognitive shadow, he has access to the spiritual realm, right? Which is what allows Dalinar to pull the perpendicularities together and essentially infuse Stormlight into any nearby radiance. So if the Stormfather dies, quote unquote, at least in terms of anti-investiture, maybe. I feel like if Brandon were to do that, I think Brandon would maybe use that as a threat, as a like, oh, this is the stakes, the Stormfather could die, oh my god, be scared. But in terms of that actually happening, I don't know, dude. I don't think that would actually happen. I think more than likely, it would probably just be a case of like, I don't know, dude, because like I'm thinking of it both narratively and in terms of like what makes sense for the story. So what makes sense for the story, this doesn't happen to the Stormfather, it happens to like some lower Radiant, and therefore the story progresses like, oh my god, a Radiant, like for example Syl, as you mentioned in your comment, dies from anti-investiture, so I have to be careful, etc, etc. Narratively, in terms of what would make the most narrative impact from Brandon, if you do that to the Stormfather, that would have a massive impact. It's very difficult to say, dude. Like I said, this is kind of speculating on book 6 level stuff. If I were to give you my honest answer, my honest speculation, I don't think that this would actually happen for, you know, end of book 6 or end of book 5 even. I don't think this would happen. I don't think that Brandon would go as far as, you know, literally killing off the Stormfather, as in he's gone, completely gone, because anti-investiture. I don't think he would do that, but I do think it would affect the story in some way. But while the Spren can die, and Brandon implemented anti-investiture as a way to be a legitimate threat against Radiant and Spren, I doubt it would be used against the Stormfather, but if it would totally, entirely change all our predictions about book 5, because would the high storms even have investiture to infuse gems and radiance and things after that? Like, it would completely change everything. So it's possible, but improbable, if I'm honest. It would be very unlikely, to put it lightly. Anyway, I see the last comment here is Kivek saying, yeah, I'm not going to fault him either. I just don't really get how people would consider it his best works. I know he's subjective, but still, I'm not sure what that's like regarding to. I probably commented on it earlier or something like that. I'm not sure. But I just noticed we've been going for nearly 2 hours, dude. Like basically 2 hours now. So I see there's not a lot of people watching at the moment, which is fine. Like I said, we've been going for like 2 hours. Those of you who are still watching, if you can give me a like, right now, if you've already given a like, you are like fucking herald level for me. I appreciate you, bro. Otherwise, if you could just give me a like, I would appreciate that. I've like spoken my voice haggard here. God asks me here, want to spout any Death Rattle series? There are some real interesting ones to talk about. God, I'm gonna be honest, I do want to talk about Death Rattles. I just think they are a topic that is, there's a lot to get into, and I actually want to make a dedicated video on the Death Rattles at some point, because they clearly point to something. There's fortune, capital F fortune, for all those Cosmere informed individuals. There's capital F fortune involved in all these Death Rattles, so I definitely want to dive into them. I'm just not sure if a live stream is the best place for it right now, you know? So I'm thinking I'll probably do that either in a future video or a live stream. But I don't think I can give you a proper answer right now. I could give you some answer off the top of my head if you give me one right now, but I don't think I could do it justice, to be honest. Not right now, at least. So yeah, just to be honest with you, I do appreciate you like participating in the comments, and I've responded to a lot of your comments, and I love it. I think you're great. You've given me a lot of material to work with, but I definitely do want to. That's a topic I want to do justice. So, you know, let me try and answer it in a video, or in future once I've at the very least looked into it. Let me do it in a video, but I don't want to give you some bullshit answer, you know. I'm just going to give you something off the top of my head with nothing really interesting or informative or like researched, and I feel like that's a disservice to you, bro, and I want to give you a proper answer for the question you're asking. So, you know, yeah, it's one of those things. It's just something I can't do right now, but I do appreciate it. Let me just see here. I'm not missing any comments. Okay, cool. I think I'm caught up. We're on 28 likes at the moment. I don't know if everyone currently watching has liked it, but if we can get to 30, that'd be great, because I kind of want to wind down now. It's like getting to like 2 a.m. on my side, which I know for those European guys of you, it's like either it's 2 hours behind, 2 hours ahead, I don't know. But yeah, it's getting to 2 a.m. my side, so I just want to wind things down. If any of you are watching, please like the video, please like the stream. Let's see if we can get to that 30 likes. I know I'm a small YouTuber, but I would really appreciate if we can just start pushing things, you know. I want to start getting this channel moving, getting the momentum going. It's going to take some time, but you know, small steps. Anyway, let me just see. Oh, God says I'm 2 hours ahead of you in Britain, so it's like what, midnight there for you, just about midnight. That's cool. And Givek says it's 1 a.m. for him, so it's about an hour ahead. Okay, so it's not too far out, but yeah, it gives me a good idea of the stream time. See, I would do it earlier, but the problem is doing it earlier, there's also a large contingent of the people who watch it where this is the better time, just based on like YouTube analytics. I could be wrong, but that's what YouTube tells me. Anyway, I think I'm going to wrap it up right now. I do appreciate all of you who've tuned in. We've gone for 2 hours, which I'm actually quite impressed with. So yeah, thank you very much to everyone for watching the video, for tuning in on the stream, for commenting, leaving comment, leaving likes. I appreciate it. Like I said, guys, it's me getting back into YouTube. I love the Cosmere. I adore it, but I do want to, you know, stretch my wings a little, talk about other things that I'm interested in, but still, you know, enjoying my roots in the Cosmere. So I'm happy doing that. El Gordo asked me if I'm blackout yet. No. I'm a little bit tipsy, fumbling over my words, but I'm nowhere like yet, dude. I'm still, I don't know, what is this, my like 4th or 5th cup of wine? I'm nowhere near that, bro. But maybe one day I'll have a blackout stream. I do not want to know what that's gonna turn out like. Anyway, oh, El Gordo asked me what planet did I say I would live on the Cosmere. I'd probably live on Cell. To give you an answer for my earlier extrapolation on that question, I'd live on Cell if I get the powers. If I don't get the powers, it'll be on Scadrial, but more like a modern Scadrial, etc. Otherwise, yeah, probably Scadrial, because, you know, internet is great, bro. Anyway, yeah, I appreciate all of you guys. I love that you all have tuned in. We've got like 28 likes, like, on a live stream, which is something that I thought would be impossible. But yeah, I appreciate all of you guys. I'm gonna try, eventually I will try and do more regular streams, but for now I just thought, you know, there's a bit of a lull in the content now. I'm getting a new backlog of content up, so the next week probably won't have uploads, but thereafter there'll be a good like 4 or 5 weeks of regular, multiple times a week uploads. So I just wanted to get, you know, give you guys something in the meantime. Maybe I'll do another stream next week, maybe not, I don't know. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, guys. I appreciate everything. Oh, I see we're at 29 likes. If anyone's watching that hasn't liked yet, please, if we can get to 30, that'd be great. Anyway, that's just me e-begging right here. Anyway, I appreciate it. Thank you very much, guys. I appreciate all of you. You have reinvigorated my love for producing content, YouTube, all of this. I'm genuinely happy again. Happy bringing you new content, talking about things I enjoy, etc, etc, etc. I don't want to retread those same old things, but yeah, I just want to thank you guys. Thank you very much for watching. Please do stick around, subscribe if you haven't, like if you haven't, comment if you haven't, and I'll see you guys on the next video, of course. A video in the next like week or so, as I said. Another week or so of not many uploads, but then regular uploads again for a while. But yeah, thank you very much, and I'll see you guys next time. I love you guys. Thank you, and have a good night. Enjoy your weekends, and that's all from me. Cheers, guys. Bye.